kind interest in election, and I do see some familiar faces here. So I'm surprised that I'm pleasantly surprised that this sold out so quickly, even faster than my last talk of Abenomics, which I intended to be my swan song here, but that's fine with me. Anyway, as Jason said, sake and liquor are a great contributor to our national coffers. I think we raise about 2 trillion yen, about 5% of our total taxes. So it's an industry that cannot be ignored, and we actually promote it. And one of my portfolios here is to promote sake and the Japanese liquor industry. So I'm very pleased to be here. Now, about sake. Now, I last talked about Abenomics several weeks ago, and our talk today will be on Sakenomics. I talked about the Abenomics 3 arrows, and this Sakenomics also has 3 ingredients, namely liquidity, that's rice, clear water, sorry, it should be clear water, and then something that gives you energy, like fiscal policy. And this would be rice. And then the most important, as in Abenomics, is structural reform, in which case this is provided by the yeasts, or the Toji people that actually perform the alchemy from rice and water into sake. So, but then that is not the end of the comparison. Like Abenomics, you can have too much of it, which you should be aware of. I mean, like fiscal and monetary stimuli, there can be too much stimuli. So these things should be taken in moderation. And then, most importantly, it's up to you, the consumers, the people, to actually grasp Abenomics or Sakenomics and feel better and spend more to help lift the economy and our national coffers. So I'll stop there, and I guess my next job is to introduce the first speaker, Rie Yoshitake. Rie Yoshitake-san is the chief representative here for the Sake Samurai. I actually call her Sake Ninja. But she is well known not only with sake but in the association with the International Wine Challenge, and she was took the initiative to promote sake in the International Wine Challenge that is held every year. So with that brief introduction, I will give the floor to Rie-san.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for coming. Actually, my duty is to explain about what Sake Samurai is. So, have you ever heard about the Sake Samurai before? Anyway, I was asked about 7 years ago to look after Sake Samurai as a representative. When I heard first time, I thought it's something to do with a Hollywood film or something like that. It's a Tom Cruise. What the person does something with sake bottle rather than the sword. But Sake Samurai Association does something really nice for Japan and all over the world. But anyway, I just wanted to explain the situation. First of all, what Sake Samurai Association is, which is the representative of the Young Sake Brewers Association, who was worrying about the decline of the sake industry. Sake has been in the declining so rapidly, like almost a ski slope for the last few years, or no, over 100 years almost. So I just wanted to show you the screen. I'm sorry, it is in Japanese. Around the wartime in Japan, there were 7,000 sake makers who are operating. Now, as you can see, it's about 1,500. Actually, people say it's only 1,000 sake makers are in operation. The reason why I think is first, people started drinking less alcohol, maybe because of the health, or also we have a driving program. You can't drink if you have to drive at all. And secondly, there are lots of wines and the beer alternative drinks are coming into Japan. that, and people are enjoying more sort of international drinks. And thirdly, which I think this is most damaging, is younger generation. They don't think sake is not fashionable. They don't think sake is something, very old-fashioned, associated with old people. So kind of they are deserting their own tradition in Japan, which is really sad. That's why sake samurai, people who believe that we have to protect the sake industry and promote sake industry internationally, stood up, and we decided to do something. So what we do, we have two major activities. As I said, objective of Sake Samurai is to protect and promote sake. So we have, one of the things we do is inaugurating the person who contributes to the promotion of sake internationally as Sake Samurai. It's like a title we get. We nominate about 5 or 6 people, Japan, France, all over the world, who deserves to be a recognition. And we do inauguration ceremony in Japan. It's always in October in Kyoto, in the Shimogamo Shrine. So this is the way we do it, in a very traditional kimono, and people are very much people who try to love the heritage. I'll show you one more. This is the chairman of the International Wine Challenge, who was inaugurated about 2 years ago. He has led the mission to complete in the end. Second one is, as Mr. Kawakami kindly mentioned, we run the sake competition. This is actually the biggest sake competition outside of Japan now, at the International Wine Challenge. International Wine Challenge, as you may know, this is again the largest sake wine competition all over the world. They judge over 10,000 bottles every year. So in there, 2007, we decided to put the sake. The reason why we chose London is, perhaps you may know or may not, London is the capital of the fine wines market. Am I right?
You're right.
So, I have somebody who can endorse that. As you know, London has been always the capital of the fine market, and also we decided to put this sake onto the network to spread the word to all over the world. So that is our idea. Why London? So we decided to have 5 categories, which is Honjojo, Ginjo Daiginjo, Junmai, Junmai Ginjo Daiginjo, and Koshu. Koshu is an aged sake. So this is a scene how, in the back scene of the judging, we have 1,000 bottles lining up. And this is a scene how we judge. This is the panels. Perhaps you can see the back, somebody called Mr. Anthony Moss, MW.
I'm Christine.
It is very, very important for us to bring in the European palate as well as Japanese. So we have like a 50% of the palate judging the sake. That is very important. You can't just rely on Japanese palate. So I have Christina Parkinson from the biggest buyer, perhaps from Hakkasan. And also there's a lady flew in from Australia. And there's a gentleman who is representative of Japanese Brewers Association. These people actually discuss one by one with blind sake how they think, then decide. So you can imagine how serious our sake. This is called blind tasting. Blind tasting is not the one you blind yourself. And also, it is very important, I found, to taste in the glass, just the proper wine glass. People think the sake is very much associated with a small sake cup. Maybe it's good atmospheric reasons, but it's to enjoy sake in a really enhancing the flavor. It is good to drink. This is the only way you can judge properly. we also run the sake seminar, as we believe it is so important to educate people who can spread the word to the world. So means educating even the master of wines. So this is something we are working on, how to educate the people. So this is something you should watch out the space. When it comes to this year's wine competition, sake competition, we had 583 entries. Then we have bronze, silver, gold. And finally, in July the 18th, please remember, July the 18th, we are going to announce the champion, the best out of all. So this will be at Grosvenor House. And to just make a short list, who is nominated the last five, just very quickly. There was Zakura from Yamagata, and Dasai, perhaps one of the most famous group name from Yamaguchi. This is Dasai 23 means polished down to the 23% of the rice. So it is one of the highest polished rice. And Katafune, which is from Chiba, this is the first sake got the award from Chiba, so this is something to remember. And the Kitaya from Fukuoka, this is from my prefecture, I'm very happy. And the last one is Koshu, aged sake. Somehow, I don't know why, but it always comes from Hiroshima. Hiroshima started known as a producer of Koshu. So something you should try. And this is a scene. In July the 18th, we are going to have it, announcement, 1,000 people. And people who are nominated, like last five, they all come together with ambassador, of course, they celebrate. And this is 2 years ago, we had Nabeshima-san from Sagaken as a champion. What happens after the champion is nominated, awarded, they become almost like, how do you say, hero of the prefecture. And the sake tourism is thriving. So it is obviously helping the economy and the tourism. So it's so-called sake tourism. And there's a pretty lady who you may know sitting here. We awarded Sake Contributors Award, as she has done so much work to promote sake. So also we do embassy tasting in July, so please feel free to come. And lastly, our ambassador is drinking sake, although he says I'm not drinking, I'm just tasting. So that's it. But as I said, Sake Samurai UK branch, whatever called, has some website, and there will be event organized by us, organized the others, for your information to attend. So have a look if you have time. Thank you very much.